1 month. That's how long I've been using the Sony a6700. And let me tell you, this camera has me rethinking everything about my setup. But it's not all perfect. From its insane autofocus to its amazing low light capabilities and some quirks that actually kind of frustrates me. We're gonna talk about all of that and a few things that people don't often really mention about this camera. So let's dive in. I'm not gonna talk too much about my first impressions in this video because I already made a video about it. Just to summarize all of it is that it has amazing autofocus, it's great in low light, and it has a really nice grip. If you're looking for a video that talks a lot more about like specs and whatnot and more technicalities, I recommend you watch my first impression right here. All right, right out of the box, the autofocus in this camera is amazing. I'm currently recording on this a6700 right now. So look at this, like even if I go close, it's still in focus. It's focusing on my eye right now, it's tracking it. If I go far, it's always in focus no matter how fast I go. It almost feels like I'm cheating when I'm using it. I do a lot of photography at my church, and oftentimes when I'm shooting the worship team, there's a lot of faces, there's a lot of movements going around, and the light changes very often. But this camera does not miss. It doesn't skip a beat. As soon as it sees an eye, or as soon as I assign it to someone's face, it just tracks it and does not let go. I'm so satisfied. It really feels like cheating. Furthermore, the video image quality of this camera is so good. So this can record in 4K at a very high quality. It's a little too much to like render and edit and all of that. Like I have to proxy a lot of the videos often if I were to record in 4K. Also, it kind of drains the battery a lot, but the quality of the 1080p on this camera is so sharp. I'm recording in 1080p right now, and this looks really good. So I find that personally right now, as of right now, I don't need 4K, but when I get a computer that can run it, I'll definitely record in 4K. This is the first camera that I have that can record in S-Log3. So before, I had my trusty Sony RX100 Mark IV, and this camera can record in S2, but like, it's all right. You know, it's not really that bad, but S-Log3 just feels so much better. It's so much easier to work with. And for those who are wondering what S-Log3 even is, let me show you. This is S-Log3. So as you can see, the colors are very dull and everything just looks very gray. But that's the point. The point is that everything looks flat as possible so it can be more flexible to work on in post-process. And it's just much better and easier and like pumps out a better image quality at the end. The photo quality of this camera is amazing. I absolutely love the photos that come out of this. The colors are so beautiful, and you know, like in Fuji cameras, you can edit the sliders in camera. Well, this can do that too. You can make like film simulations in this camera, kinda. So I set mine up in a certain way, and every time I take a photo, the colors are just exactly how I want them. So if I just want to shoot in JPEG, I just, you know, click and it's good. I always shoot in RAW plus JPEG because why not? Oftentimes I don't really need to edit these photos too much, but when I do, there's lots of room in the RAW files for pushing and pulling and moving all the sliders around. It's great. So here are the photos that I've captured this past month, and let me know what you think. Another really good thing about this camera is the heat management. I've worked with the a6300 before and also other Sony cameras. The overheating was rough. It was rough, man. This camera just steams right through all of those. Like, I've recorded hour plus video on this camera and it hasn't overheated once. Keep in mind, I'm recording in 1080p and it doesn't really require that much power from the sensor in order to process all that information. But for it to be able to continuously record without ever like shutting off because of overheating issues, that is amazing. I have yet to record in 4K for long periods of time, so like that's more of a in the future type of thing. But right now, I'm really satisfied with this camera. So now let's talk about the bad about this camera. In terms of what is actually frustrating about this camera, a lot of it is just more of a personal opinion. And again, this is like my personal experience with this camera this past month. Number one, the menu. Yes, the menu has improved from the older like generation, and it is quite easy to navigate through. My frustration with it is that it's still quite hard to find certain things. I often have to dig deep in the menu in order to find what I'm looking for. And sometimes I have to just go on YouTube and find a video that will guide me towards whatever I'm looking for. So that's a little frustrating. I learned my lesson when I tried to record in the highest quality possible on this camera. And let me tell you, this 15-second little recording was 730 megabytes for 15 seconds. Like, oh my goodness. And also my computer, again, is not that strong, so I couldn't even preview the actual footage itself because it's so much data. So it's a little overwhelming, but that's a good problem to have in my opinion. As I said, to combat this, I decided to just record at 1080p. And honestly, it's working for me quite well because the 1080p is very good. Essentially, I just want my computer to be able to breathe a little. And number three, it's not even really a complaint at all. It's just that, as I said in point number one, there is a learning curve with learning the new system, especially with Sony when they don't have the most comprehensive menu system. And there's so much bells and whistles to this camera. But that actually gives me more excitement as a creator to learn and play around with this new camera. The low light capabilities of this camera is incredible. For an APS-C size sensor, the a6700 performs phenomenally. I'm so surprised and so happy that the low light performance on it is so good. So this camera has two base ISOs, 800 and 2500. I put at 800 and it's super clean. It's like I'm at ISO 100, honestly, like it's really clean. I push it to ISO 2500. It's amazing still, like the way it handles noise is so good. And look at these photos. Like, what do you think? The noise is so well maintained and so well controlled. They are absolutely usable images, super clean. I feel like I can push this camera all the way to like ISO 6400 and still have super clean images. Personally for me, like I've always limited myself to ISO 1600 because that's where I'm comfortable with my old cameras. But with this, it almost feels like walking into a new world by going to ISO above 1600. So that really surprised me. In the real world environment, I took this camera at my church and I was doing some photography of the worship. The environment is very dark and there's stage lights. When I shot the images of the crowd, the images that came out of this camera, it looked like there was already light on them. And again, the only lights that was on was the lights pointing towards the worship team, and this camera handled it so well. Another example, I recently went to a photo meetup with some local photographers and some local models. The setting was this old-timey theater. There wasn't a lot of light. I brought my own lights, and man, I was shooting at ISO 800 on this camera. I believe more in showing rather than telling. So I'm just going to roll this slideshow and look at these images. The sharpness, the colors, the everything. It's so good. The raw files were super clean and super easy to work with. I absolutely love the way that this camera performed. I understand the Sony hype now. Next is the battery life. The battery life is actually surprisingly well. I mean, it's not the longest lasting battery. For photos, it lasts quite a bit. I'm not too sure how many shots it's rated for. I'm just gonna put it right there. But on a single charge, I've been very satisfied with the a6700. For video, it's another story. Because video uses a lot more processing power, it drains the battery not fast, but quite a bit. So for a session of like an hour and a half recording at 1080p, I went from 100% all the way to like 60%, which is normal, honestly. 60% is still quite a lot of battery. For me, I've been doing a little bit of video outside of YouTube, and I know that batteries are not the most reliable thing, and I'd rather just plug it straight into the power supply and just let it roll so that I don't have to worry about battery life. But so far, so good. So yeah, no real complaints here. So now you might be asking me, Steve, what's the verdict? Should I get this camera in 2025? My answer is yes. If you're coming from an old camera or like a point and shoot, the a6700 is an absolute beast. I might say a little bit overkill for a lot of people. This camera will give you peace of mind. That's what it's given me. But if you're not ready for this amount of like bells and whistles, I don't really recommend it because again, it can get quite overwhelming. If you can get over that obstacle, then what you have here is an amazing tool to have, especially for content creators. The image quality is beautiful and the video capabilities are amazing. So there's not really that much to not like about this camera. If you're a vlogger, if you're a hybrid shooter, if you're a content creator, this camera is an absolute beast of a camera. And especially if you like pushing your gear and don't want to spend too much money, the Sony a6700 is the camera for you. And if you're more curious about the Sony a6700, check out my first impression of this camera, the Sony a6700, in order to learn a little bit more. In that video, I talk more about the technicalities and whatnot. My name is Steve, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.